Dawn spills gold across a city that hums beneath its own silence. It's a quiet that isn't empty, but full of echoes and the low, resonant thrum of a world just waiting to exhale. The sun's first light catches the highest spires, towers of glass and steel that scrape a sky the color of bruised lavender, before cascading down into the canyons of forgotten avenues and dormant plazas. This is a place built on the bones of another time, a metropolis that wears its history like a second skin. Its architecture is a conversation between the ancient and the futuristic, where monolithic concrete structures, weathered by time and neglect, stand shoulder to shoulder with sleek, self-repairing facades that gleam with an inner life. The air itself feels old, thick with the scent of ozone, damp earth, and the faint, metallic tang of rust. In this sprawling urban expanse, the sounds are muted, swallowed by the sheer scale of the environment. The wind whispers through skeletal gantries and whistles a lonely tune across deserted sky bridges. There are no roaring engines or clamorous crowds, only the subtle symphony of a city in slumber. A low cello drone seems to emanate from the very ground, a foundational note that underpins the quiet. Occasionally, a distant metallic chime punctuates the stillness, a reminder of automated systems that still perform their duties without human oversight. This is the world Arya Dewan wakes to every day, a world of profound quiet, where one must learn to listen not with the ears, but with the entire body, feeling the vibrations that travel through the soles of her feet and resonate deep within her chest.
I move through this landscape like a ghost, my presence barely disturbing the settled dust. I've learned the language of the silence, the nuances of its pauses, and the weight of its unbroken hum. For me, the city isn't dead, but dreaming. It speaks in the subtle shift of shadows as the sun climbs higher, in the patterns of condensation on cold metal, and in the rhythmic pulse that seems to flow just beneath the surface of everything. My steps are measured, my breath steady, a conscious effort to synchronize myself with the city's own latent rhythm. I understand that to rush is to miss the conversation, to impose my own noise upon a world that's already speaking, even if it's in a whisper that few are patient enough to hear.
This daily pilgrimage is a ritual, a search for meaning in the quiet aftermath of a louder age. The city itself is a vast archive, a library of forgotten intentions and discarded ambitions. Every street corner holds a story, every abandoned structure a testament to a dream that either faltered or was fulfilled and then forgotten.
I don't see ruins, I see relics. I see the physical manifestation of ideas, of systems, of human endeavor frozen in time.
The silence is not an absence of life, but a different state of being. It is the silence of a library after closing, the silence of a temple between prayers. It's a silence that invites contemplation, a canvas upon which the faintest signals can finally be perceived. Dust drifts through the columns of light, each mote a tiny planet in a golden galaxy. These are not mere particles of dirt and decay. They are the memories of machines once alive. They are the powdered remnants of alloys that once moved with purpose, the ground-down fragments of circuits that once thought in binary, the microscopic flakes of paint that once adorned the chassis of tireless automatons. Arya's destination is a vast salvage yard on the city's periphery, a metallic graveyard where the skeletons of a bygone industrial era lie in tangled repose. Here, the hum of the city is more pronounced, a low thrum that vibrates through the corroded hulls of forgotten transports and the twisted limbs of silent robotic arms. It feels like a place of mourning, but also a place of immense potential. She navigates the labyrinth of scrap with a practiced grace, her worn leather boots making soft sounds on the compacted earth and rusted steel. Her eyes, sharp and discerning, scan the metallic landscape not for scrap value, but for significance. She is an archaeologist of the recent past, sifting through the detritus of progress to find the artifacts that tell a truer story. Most of what she finds is mundane servo motors seized with rust, logic boards cracked and faded, structural beams bent into unrecognizable shapes. But Arya is not looking for the obvious. She is searching for the anomalies, the pieces that do not quite fit the narrative of decay, the objects that seem to retain a whisper of their former function, a faint echo of the energy they once contained.
My search is guided by intuition, something honed over years of this solitary work. It's a feeling, a subtle pull towards a certain pile of debris, a faint resonance that only I seem attuned to. Today, that feeling is stronger than ever, a clear signal cutting through the background noise of the yard.
She follows it to a mound of oxidized plating and frayed wiring, her fingers tracing the outlines of buried shapes. She digs with a careful urgency, peeling back layers of metal like the pages of a book. And then she finds it. It is a small, flat object, no larger than her palm. It is a lattice of interlocking geometric shapes, precise and complex, etched with a level of detail that seems almost impossible. It is cool to the touch, its material unfamiliar. As her fingers brush away the last of the grime, a strange sensation passes through her. It isn't metal. It's something else, something that feels impossibly dense and yet curiously light. The patterns seem to shift slightly in the morning light, playing tricks on the eye. It feels less like an object and more like a captured thought, a solid piece of information. A voice, distant and scholarly, seems to echo in the back of her mind, a fragment from an old archival recording she once heard.
Every age builds machines to mirror itself.
This object in her hand feels like a mirror, but what it reflects is not the world around her, but something hidden deep within it. This small, intricate lattice feels like a key. The object rests in her palm, a stark contrast of intricate design against the grime on her skin. Its weight is deceptive, suggesting a density that belies its slender form. The geometry etched across its surface is mesmerizing, a tapestry of hexagons, triangles, and lines that intersect at impossible angles, creating a sense of infinite depth. It is a design that feels both mathematically pure and organically grown, as if it were a fossilized blueprint of a natural law. There are no seams, no signs of manufacture, no maker's mark. It appears not to have been built, but to have simply come into being. Arya runs a thumb over the surface, feeling the crisp edges of the etches. The sensation is clean, sharp, like the feeling of a perfectly formed thought arriving with sudden and absolute clarity.
What is this thing?
The question hangs in the quiet air of the salvage yard. It is clearly a piece of advanced technology, yet it bears none of the familiar hallmarks. There are no ports, no power indicators, no user interface. It is entirely self-contained, a silent and inscrutable puzzle. The male voice from the archives surfaces in her memory again, a low and thoughtful tone speaking of ancient concepts.
They once called it RTA, Order Beneath Chaos.
That is what this object feels like. It is the physical embodiment of order, a tangible piece of the universal pattern that governs the cosmos, from the spiraling of galaxies to the branching of a tree's roots. It is a symbol of the rhythm that she has always felt but could never quite grasp. She closes her hand around it, the cool metal, or what feels like metal, slowly warming to her touch. A faint vibration, almost imperceptible, begins to emanate from it. It is not a mechanical shudder, but a pure, tonal resonance. It matches the low hum of the city, but with a clarity and focus that the ambient drone lacks. It is as if the object is filtering the background noise of the world and distilling it into a single, perfect note. It is a signal that confirms everything she has suspected about the world she inhabits. It confirms that the silence is not empty, that the rhythm is real, and that there is a hidden layer of information flowing through the world, unseen and unheard by most. Tucking the lattice securely into a pocket inside her jacket, she turns her back on the graveyard of machines and begins the long walk back to her workshop. The sun is higher now, casting long shadows that stretch and retreat with the city's silent breath. Her steps feel lighter, more purposeful. The discovery has changed something, not just in the world, but within her.
The quiet of the city doesn't feel lonely anymore. It feels conspiratorial, like the city and I now share a secret.
This small geometric object is not just a piece of forgotten technology. It is a discovery, yes, but it is also a summons. It is an invitation to listen more closely, to look more deeply, and to finally understand the rhythm she was born into. It is memory, forged into a shape she can hold. Arya's workshop is a pocket of warmth and meticulous order carved out of the city's cold, cavernous architecture. It is a single, high-ceilinged room in a disused transit station, its grand arched windows now covered with thick, sound-dampening blankets. The only light comes from a single, soft amber lamp that hangs low over a heavy wooden workbench, casting a golden glow that seems to push back against the encroaching shadows. The air here smells of hot metal, ozone, and old books, a scent of focused creation. This space is more than just a workshop. It is a sanctum, a laboratory where the forgotten science of listening is practiced with an almost religious devotion. Tools of a unique and specific trade line the walls, not in chaotic disarray, but arranged with surgical precision. Oscilloscopes stand next to polished brass tuning forks, and delicate vibrometers share shelf space with hand-carved wooden resonators. This is where the detritus of the past is not merely examined, but interrogated. Arya moves through the space with a quiet, deliberate grace, her every action part of a well-rehearsed ritual. She sheds her dusty outer jacket, hanging it carefully by the door, and washes the grime of the salvage yard from her hands in a basin of clean, cold water. The motions are slow, meditative, a way of cleansing both body and mind before commencing her work. Her focus narrows, the vast, silent city outside fading into irrelevance, the world shrinking to the pool of amber light on her workbench. Here, she is not an archaeologist sifting through ruins, but an alchemist attempting to transmute silence into meaning, to distill the noise of history into the pure tone of truth. She places the lattice, the geometric key, in the center of her workbench. Under the warm lamp, its intricate patterns seem to hold an even deeper complexity, the lines appearing to shift and realign as if alive. It looks less like a piece of technology and more like a sacred object, a relic from a forgotten faith whose scripture was written in the language of physics.
I've brought countless artifacts back to this room, each a small mystery. But this one feels different. This one feels like an answer, a final piece to a puzzle I've been assembling my entire life. It feels like the source of the hum, the origin of the rhythm I've chased for so long.
Her ritual continues as she begins to interface the object with her own custom-built equipment. Her hands are steady as she attaches micro-clamps with hair-thin wires to specific nodes on the lattice's edge. These wires do not lead to a power source, but to a complex vibro-mechanical rig of her own design, a contraption of resonating chambers, weighted tuning arms, and electromagnetic plates. It is a machine built not to send a signal, but to receive one. It is an amplifier for the subtlest vibrations, a device designed to make the inaudible audible. It is her attempt to build a mechanical ear capable of hearing the city's heartbeat. With the lattice now at its core, the entire apparatus seems to hold its breath, waiting for a command that will never be spoken aloud.
Arya adjusts the brass dial, coaxing a low hum from her apparatus, searching for resonance with the lattice. The world narrows to her hands, the machine, and the silent object at its center.
As she nears the right frequency, the lattice itself emits a pure, unwavering A5, less a sound, more a presence. The tone fills the room, vibrating through dust and metal, aligning everything to its order.
Arya whispers, "I measure the sound of attention itself," feeling the resonance in her bones. She realizes the lattice is not a power source, but a passive resonator, a lens revealing the universe's hidden order. The machine listens, inviting her to respond, beginning a dialogue that transcends words. The A5 saturates the workshop, clarifying her mind and sharpening her senses. The lattice becomes the room's focal point, warping light and shadow, imposing its geometry on reality.
This is RTA, order beneath chaos, made audible, the universal law that shapes all things. Arya's life's work has led to this, the ancient principle, resurrected by her machine. The lattice responds not to power, but to conscious attention.
It's a listening machine, teaching her to hear the hidden harmony. The moment is not revelation, but a dawning, profound comprehension. Arya closes her eyes, synchronizing her breath and heartbeat with the pure tone. She becomes part of the resonance, the boundary between herself and the machine dissolving.
The city's hum is a complex chord, with the A5 as its keynote, the secret tuning fork of the metropolis. The city is not silent, but playing music at a frequency forgotten by most. Its systems are self-sustaining, harmonized by an embedded musicality.
The lattice is a conductor's baton, letting her hear and perhaps influence the city's song. She wonders, are the city's people unconsciously synchronized to this rhythm too? The A5 becomes the new silence, revealing a web of harmonically related sounds in the workshop.
Arya imagines the city as a vast network of vibrations, every clang, hum, and whistle part of a grand composition. The city is a colossal, resonant body, every object a note in its symphony.
If the city is a machine for order, what are its people? Ghosts, audience, or missing players? She disconnects the lattice. The tone vanishes, and chaos returns, but she retains the memory of order. The listening machine has changed her. She's now in resonance with the city. She wonders if anyone else is listening.
The city breathes, its energy cycling in rhythmic pulses. Arya, attuned to its frequency, ventures into the city's inhabited sectors.
On a transport bus, Mita's fingers tap a rhythm unconsciously synced to the city's pulse.
Arya observes. Mita's actions are perfectly in time with the city's underlying beat. The bus, its passengers, even the doors, all move in harmony with the unseen tempo. The rhythm permeates both infrastructure and human consciousness. The city hasn't just been built, it's been tuned, and its people are its most precious, if unaware, instruments. The rhythm finds a different expression in the quiet intensity of the city's data hub. Here, in a sterile, climate-controlled room filled with humming server racks, Kavi sits before a translucent screen. He is a coder, a digital artisan weaving threads of logic into complex tapestries of information. His work isn't the frantic, caffeine-fueled clatter of a bygone era. Instead, it's calm, focused, and deeply rhythmic.
My fingers don't really fly across the keyboard. Instead, they move with this graceful, deliberate kind of economy. Each press is a distinct note, every line of code a melodic phrase. The room fills with the soft, percussive music of my creation, a counterpoint to the low, harmonic drone of the machines around me. My screen isn't a chaotic mess of text, it's an orderly construction. Code appears in elegant, structured blocks, each one materializing in time with the city's 58 BPM pulse. A function on one beat, a variable on the next. The cursor blinks in perfect time, a visual metronome guiding my thoughts and keystrokes.
Kavi is in a state of flow, a deep symbiosis with his machine. The logic he is writing isn't just functional, it has a poetic cadence. The structure of his code mirrors the structure of the city itself, ordered, efficient, and harmonically resonant. He isn't simply writing instructions for a computer, he's composing a small part of the city's operational score.
The task at hand is complex, optimizing the energy distribution algorithms for the city's residential sector. It takes a lot of focus, a total immersion in these abstract systems of logic. But I don't feel strained. My posture's relaxed, my breathing deep and even. The rhythm gives my thoughts a framework, keeps me from burning out, lets me work deeply for a long time. It's like a scaffold for my mind, a structure that supports the weight of my work. The pulse helps me access a kind of creative zone, where I can find elegant solutions that might otherwise get lost in all the mental noise. I guess you could say I'm a weaver of light and logic, and the rhythm is my loom.
Arya observes this from a public viewing gallery, looking down through a pane of reinforced glass. She doesn't just see a man at work, but a mind in perfect tune with its environment. The philosopher's voice from the archives returns with a warning that feels both ancient and prescient. When hands lose rhythm, minds forget their craft. Kavi's craft is alive and well, nurtured by the very pulse he is unaware of. His work is a testament to the profound connection between physical rhythm and mental clarity, between the motion of the hands and the quality of the thought. He is proof that true craftsmanship is not just about skill, but about a deep, intuitive synchronicity with the tools and the task. In a different part of the city, in a workshop filled with the scent of metallic dust and polishing compounds, the rhythm takes on a more physical, more visceral form. Here, Ved works with his hands, a polisher of rare metals. He stands before a large, slowly rotating disc of reclaimed alloy, a component for one of the city's atmospheric condensers. His tool is simple, a powered buffer, but his use of it is anything but. He does not fight the metal, forcing it into submission. Instead, he dances with it.
You know, it's not about overpowering the metal. You have to move with it. Let it guide you a little. Let the rhythm find you.
His body sways in a gentle, repetitive motion, his arms moving in smooth, circular arcs as he applies the buffer to the discus surface. Each pass is timed perfectly, each sweep of the tool a graceful and efficient gesture. The sound in the workshop is a polyrhythmic composition. The low groan of the rotating disc provides the bass line. The high-pitched whir of the buffer is a sustained note, and against this backdrop, The contact of the buffer on the metal creates a percussive hiss that falls in a steady, repeating pattern. Hiss 2, 3, 4, lift 2, 3, 4. Ved's entire body is an instrument of this rhythm. His feet are planted firmly, but his hips and torso move with the fluidity of a dancer, absorbing the machine's vibrations and channeling his own energy back into the work.
You gotta keep the pressure even, stay loose. If you tense up, you'll mess up the finish. It's all about patience, and just, letting your body remember the steps.
The sweat on his brow is not from strain, but from the heat of sustained, focused effort, the exertion of a body in perfect harmony with its task. The goal is to achieve a flawless, mirror-like finish on the alloy. It is a task that requires immense patience and an unwavering attention to detail. A moment's lapse in concentration, a fraction too much pressure, and the surface would be marred. But Ved is a master of his craft. The rhythm is his guide. It keeps his pressure even, his movements consistent, his mind locked on the subtle changes in the metal's surface. He is not thinking about the rhythm, he is embodying it. It flows from the ground, up through his legs, through his core, and out through his hands. He is a conduit for the city's pulse, translating its steady beat into the physical act of creation.
Watching Ved work, I see the artistry in what he does. There's real intelligence in the way he moves. Like it's not just labor, it's something deeper.
This is not mindless toil. This is craft in its purest form. It is the deep knowledge that lives not in the brain, but in the muscles and nerves. It is the wisdom of the body, a wisdom that is unlocked through rhythm. Ved, Meter, and Kavi, each of them is engaged in a form of work, a form of worship, dedicated to the principle of order. They are the silent monks of a mechanical monastery, their labor a prayer spoken in the language of synchronized motion. The vignettes accumulate in Arya's mind, forming a powerful composite image of the city's lifeblood. It is a montage of human activity, diverse in its purpose, but unified in its underlying tempo. She sees a hydroponic gardener tending to rows of glowing plants, their hands moving from leaf to leaf with a gentle, rhythmic grace. She sees a child on a swing in a small, enclosed park, their legs pumping to push themselves higher, their arc through the air a perfect pendulum marking the city's beat. She sees a maintenance drone repairing a section of wall, its robotic arm applying sealant in a series of precise, pulsing bursts. Human and machine, organic and synthetic, all moving in unseen harmony. Each motion, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is a note in the symphony. The blink of an eye, the tap of a foot, the steady rise and fall of a chest in slumber, all are connected to the pulse.
It's funny, isn't it? You do the same thing every day, and after a while, your hands just know what to do. You don't even think about it.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if the code is writing me, not the other way around. My fingers just move to the beat.
There's a comfort in it, The rhythm keeps you steady, keeps you focused.
The cuts in Arya's mind's eye grow faster, mirroring the editing pace of an old film, each new image landing precisely on the 58 BPM beat. Mita's hand on the yoke, Kavi's finger pressing a key, Ved's arm sweeping across the metal. A drop of water falling from a leaky pipe, hitting a puddle with a rhythmic splash. A flickering neon sign, its faulty circuit causing it to flash in perfect time. The city is a vast, self-playing musical instrument, and its inhabitants are its unknowing performers. This synchronicity is both beautiful and deeply troubling. There is a profound elegance to it, a sense of peace in the idea of a world so perfectly ordered. It speaks to a deep human yearning for harmony, for a release from the chaotic noise of individualistic strife. To move as one, to work as one, to breathe as one. It is a utopian ideal made manifest. Yet it is an unconscious utopia. The citizens of this city do not know they are in harmony. They do not feel the pulse as a conscious choice, but as an inescapable fact of their existence, as natural and as invisible as the air they breathe.
What's the value of harmony if it isn't chosen? Am I the only one who hears this music? It's like I'm outside of it now.
Arya feels a sense of profound isolation in her new awareness. She is now separate from the very people she is observing. She is the audience, the only one who can hear the music. This knowledge is a heavy burden. To see the strings is to be outside the dance. She watches these people, their lives unfolding with a placid, rhythmic grace, and she feels a pang of envy. Is their ignorance a form of bliss? Is her awareness a curse, a form of exile from the simple peace of unknowing? The rhythm that connects everyone in the city is the very thing that now sets her apart from them all. As she walks through a quieter, less maintained sector of the city, Arya comes across a stark contrast. Here, the rhythm is weaker, the signal more faint. She finds an old man sitting on a bench attempting to repair a small, intricate clockwork device. His hands, gnarled with age, tremble slightly. His movements are hesitant, arrhythmic. He fumbles with a tiny screwdriver, his breath held in concentration, but his actions are out of sync. He tries to force a gear into place, and it slips from his grasp, falling to the ground with a dissonant clatter. A wave of frustration crosses his face. The simple, intuitive grace that Ved the Polisher possessed is absent here. Arya watches him for a long time. The man's struggle is a small personal tragedy, but it represents a much larger philosophical problem. The archival voice of the philosopher echoes in her thoughts, his words now a painful diagnosis of this very scene.
When hands lose rhythm, minds forget their craft. That's what the old philosopher said, and now I see what he meant. It's not just about skill, it's about being connected, body and mind.
The old man has not just lost his physical dexterity, he has lost his connection to the deep, embodied knowledge of his trade. His mind knows what to do, but his body can no longer speak the language. He has fallen out of time, desynchronized from the pulse of his own craft, and therefore from the pulse of the city. This is the consequence of losing the rhythm. It is not just a loss of efficiency or elegance, it is a fundamental disconnection from the act of creation itself. The craft is not merely a set of instructions to be followed, it is a dance to be performed. Without the music, without the beat, the dance becomes a clumsy, frustrating shuffle. The mind and body fall into conflict, and the spirit of the work dies. The old man's trembling hands are a symbol of entropy, of the chaos that ensues when the ordering principle of rhythm is lost. He is a living embodiment of the city's potential decay, a warning of what happens when the signal fades.
I feel for him. But also, I think I finally get it. The lattice I found, it's not just some weird pattern. It's a way to help, a way to bring the rhythm back.
Arya feels a surge of empathy for the old man, but also a new sense of urgency. The lattice she discovered is not just a scientific curiosity, it is a tool for restoration. The rhythm it reveals is not meant to be a mechanism of control, but a path to reconnection. It is a way to reteach the hands their forgotten dance, to remind the mind of its inherent craft. The harmony of the city is not a cage, but a lifeline. The problem is not that people are moving to a rhythm they cannot hear, but that some, like this old man, are beginning to lose the rhythm altogether. The signal is fading, and Arya now understands that her discovery was not an accident. It was a call to action. The amber warmth of Arya's workshop is suddenly fractured. A power surge, violent and unexpected, courses through her equipment. The gentle hum of the building's foundation groans under the strain, and the single lamp above her workbench flickers erratically, casting spastic dancing shadows across the walls. For a moment the room is plunged into a jarring cycle of light and dark, amber and black. The carefully curated peace of her sanctum is shattered.
This isn't just a random power flicker.
This is not a random fluctuation from the city's aging grid. This feels targeted, a deliberate and invasive act. It is a foreign frequency, a dissonant chord struck into the heart of her harmonious world, designed to disrupt and to announce its presence with brutal force. Then, as abruptly as it began, the surge subsides. The amber lamp dies completely, leaving the room in near-total darkness. The familiar silence replaced by a high-pitched electronic whine. On the largest of her monitoring screens, which had been dormant, lines of stark white text flash into existence against a cold blue background. Scintillis Industries. The name hangs in the air, alien and imposing. It is a corporate sigil from a past era, a ghost of a time when entities, not people, held power. The blue light from the screen bleeds into the room, a sterile, clinical colour that chills the air and paints everything in its unforgiving glare, overwriting the golden warmth that had defined her space. From the heart of that blue light, a figure begins to resolve. It is a hologram, its projection lines shimmering as it solidifies into the form of a man. He is sharp, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit that seems untouched by the city's dust and decay. His face is calm, his expression unreadable, but his eyes hold a cold, analytical intensity. This is Noah Arya. He is a phantom of a different order, a representative of a system that operates on principles of control and ownership, not rhythm and resonance. His very presence is an act of interference, a violation of the quiet solitude Arya has cultivated. He has not knocked. He has simply appeared, a digital ghost breaching the walls of her reality. On one side, Arya, grounded and real, her hands still bearing the honest grime of her work, her face a mask of defiant surprise. On the other, Noah, ethereal and immaculate, a construct of light and data, his form unwavering in the sterile blue glow. The room has become a battleground of ideologies, symbolized by the shifting light. The warm, ancient gold of intuitive discovery is being eclipsed by the cold, futuristic steel of corporate authority. The air crackles with unspoken tension, a silent confrontation between the seeker of forgotten truths and the guardian of buried secrets. The rhythm has been interrupted. Noah Arya's voice cuts through the electronic whine, as smooth and sterile as his appearance. It is a voice accustomed to authority, devoid of warmth or inflection.
Ms. Dewan, that object on your workbench belongs to us.
His gaze, though projected, seems to focus with unnerving accuracy on the geometric lattice. He does not ask what it is or how she found it. He simply states a claim, an assertion of ownership that rings with absolute certainty. His words are not a request or a negotiation. They are a declaration. He is the ghost in the machine, the voice of the system she has been unknowingly tapping into, and he has come to reclaim its key. Arya remains still, her initial shock hardening into a quiet resolve. She does not look at the hologram, but at the lattice itself, as if drawing strength from its silent, perfect form. Her world, once a place of subtle discovery and personal revelation, has just been invaded by the very force she had thought long dead: corporate power. Syntelise Industries was a name from the history archives, a titan of the age that built this city, a corporation that had supposedly dissolved along with the civilization it created. Yet, here was its agent, a digital spectre stepping out of the past to lay claim to the present. The interference was not just in her workshop, it was an interference with history itself. She finally lifts her gaze to meet his, her eyes reflecting the cold blue light. Her voice, when she speaks, is low and steady, a stark contrast to his polished modulation.
Then why did you bury it?
The question is simple, direct, and cuts straight to the heart of the matter. It is an accusation. It challenges his claim of ownership with the simple fact of abandonment. One does not bury what one values. One does not discard a key and then become angry when it is found. Her question reframes her act from one of theft to one of salvage, of archaeology. She is not a trespasser. She is a rescuer of lost knowledge. Noah's perfect composure shows its first, almost imperceptible crack. A flicker of something, annoyance perhaps, crosses his features before being suppressed. The question hangs in the air between them, a challenge to his entire premise. He represents an order that discards and forgets, an order that buries its most profound creations in a graveyard of scrap. Arya, in contrast, represents an order that remembers, that listens, that finds value in the discarded. The confrontation is no longer just about a single object. It is about two conflicting philosophies of existence, one that seeks to control and contain the past, and one that seeks to learn from it and allow it to live again. Noah Ayer's silence is brief, a calculated pause to recalibrate his approach. He does not answer her question directly, for to do so would be to admit a failure, a miscalculation. Instead, he deflects, his voice taking on a tone of weary patience, as if explaining a complex concept to a child.
Ownership is not determined by possession, Miss Dewan. It is determined by creation. Syntelise Industries designed it, funded it, and built it. It is our intellectual property, regardless of its physical location.
His argument is one of pure, cold logic, the language of contracts and patents. It is an attempt to impose a legalistic framework onto a situation that has become deeply philosophical. He is trying to shrink the conversation back down to a simple matter of property law. But Arya is not swayed by this line of reasoning. The concept of intellectual property feels absurd when applied to the object on her bench. The lattice does not feel like an invention, it feels like a discovery. It is a key to a fundamental law of nature, the principle of RTA. Can a corporation own a law of physics? Can they patent a musical note? The idea is obscene to her.
You didn't create the rhythm. You only built a box to hold it. And then you threw the box away.
She is separating the container from the content, the technology from the universal truth it reveals. Her argument is not about law, it is about ethics. This statement seems to strike a nerve. A deep, low drone, an E minor chord, begins to emanate from the speakers of her own system, a sound of deep unease. The blue light of the hologram intensifies, as if in response to her defiance.
That box, as you call it, is a complex piece of resonant technology. It is not a toy.
His words are meant to intimidate, to reassert his position of superior knowledge and authority. He implies that she is naive, a child playing with forces she cannot possibly comprehend, a common tinkerer who has stumbled upon something far beyond her understanding. Arya stands her ground, her connection to the object and its rhythm giving her a strength she did not know she possessed.
I know what it is. It is a listening machine.
By naming it, she claims her own understanding, her own relationship with the artifact. She is not just a finder, she is an interpreter. This simple declaration transforms the dynamic. She is no longer just a scavenger who found a valuable object. She is a scientist, an artist, who has unlocked its purpose. The question of ownership becomes secondary to the question of understanding. And in that moment, it is clear that Arya, the humble archaeologist of scrap, understands the lattice's soul far better than the corporate ghost who claims to own its body.
It was buried because it was never meant to wake.
This is the answer to her original question, and it is a chilling one. It is an admission that the lattice was not merely discarded or lost. It was deliberately and carefully removed from the world. It was silenced. This was not an act of negligence. It was an act of suppression. The weight of his words sinks into the cold air of the workshop. The lattice was not just a key to a beautiful, harmonious order. It was also a danger.
Why? What was so dangerous about a city in harmony? What was so terrifying about a populace unconsciously connected to the pulse of their own world?
The interference was not just to stop her, it was to stop the signal itself, to push the awakening back into its deep, silent slumber. Every discovery is a signal of what we feared to remember. The lattice is not just a piece of technology, it is a piece of repressed memory. The society that built it had discovered something in this universal rhythm, something so powerful or so terrifying that their only solution was to bury it, to try and forget it ever existed. Scintillis Industries was not just a corporation, it was the custodian of a collective amnesia. Noah Arya was not a ghost, he was a warden, guarding the gates of a forgotten history.
This is not about property. This is about history. This is about who gets to decide which parts of the past are remembered and which are condemned to be forgotten.
Noah and Scintillis Industries want to keep the memory buried. But the lattice, the listening machine, has woken up. And now that it has been heard, it cannot be so easily silenced again. The signal has been sent. The interference has failed to stop it. It has only confirmed its importance. The blue hologram of Noah Arya vanishes, not with a clean disconnect, but by dissolving into a cloud of agitated pixels that shimmer and then fade, leaving an echoing silence in their wake. The aggressive, high-pitched whine recedes, and the workshop is plunged into a profound darkness, the abrupt absence of light and sound a shock to the senses. For a long moment, Arya stands motionless in the black, her heart hammering against her ribs, the ghost of the confrontation still crackling in the air. The sterile blue has been vanquished, but the familiar amber warmth has not returned. Her sanctum feels violated, its peaceful equilibrium shattered by the intrusion. The storm has passed, but the atmosphere remains heavy with its ozone scent.
Slowly her eyes adjust to the gloom. Faint moonlight filters through the edges of the blanketed windows, tracing the outlines of her workbench and tools in faint silver. The lattice artifact sits at the center of the chaos, now completely dark and inert. The confrontation has drained it, or perhaps it has chosen to go silent in the face of such a hostile frequency.
Arya reaches out a tentative hand, her fingers brushing against its cool, unresponsive surface. It feels like a sleeping creature, its inner light withdrawn deep inside. the connection is broken. The pure, clarifying tone of a 5 is gone, replaced by the muddy, chaotic hum of the city's raw, unfiltered state.
She feels a sudden, desperate need for air, an urge to escape the confines of the invaded space. Pulling on her jacket, she steps out of her workshop and into the vast, cavernous transit station. The night air of the city is cool and damp, carrying the familiar sense of wet concrete and ozone. The world feels different now, charged with the knowledge of what she has learned. The silence of the streets no longer feels peaceful or conspiratorial. It feels enforced. It is the silence of a library where the most important books have been hidden away. The silence of a gag order. The city is a beautiful, intricate machine that has been deliberately muted.
As she emerges onto an elevated walkway, the cityscape unfolds before her, a breathtaking panorama of light and shadow. The familiar contrast of blue neon and warm, golden streetlights takes on a new symbolic meaning. It is the visual representation of the conflict she just experienced in her workshop. It is the cold, controlling order of Scintillis and the warm, organic rhythm of the lattice, locked in a perpetual struggle for dominance over the city's soul. The city is not one thing, but two, a place of profound duality. And she, Arya Dewan, now stands directly on the fault line between these two opposing forces, a solitary figure caught in the crossfire of a forgotten war. From her vantage point, Arya watches the sparse, late-night movements of the city's inhabitants. A lone street sweeper, a cylindrical automaton, glides along the avenue below, its rotating brushes whispering against the pavement in a steady, rhythmic pattern. A few pedestrians cross a wide plaza, their paths intersecting without collision, their steps falling into a shared, unspoken cadence. They are islands of humanity in the vast, empty spaces, yet they are connected by this invisible current. They move with a placid grace, their faces calm, illuminated in fleeting moments as they pass through pools of blue and gold light. They are participants in a ballet they are not even aware they are dancing.
They move to music they cannot hear.
This is the heart of it. The rhythm is a gift, a source of harmony and grace that has been woven into the very fabric of their world. It orders their steps, eases their labor, and calms their minds. Yet, they are deaf to it. They benefit from its influence without ever knowing its source, like plants that thrive in the sun without ever comprehending the nature of a star. They are living within a masterpiece of environmental design, a symphony composed for their well-being, but they cannot hear the score.
Arya focuses on one woman, waiting for a transport shuttle. The woman idly traces a pattern on the ground with the toe of her shoe, a simple, repeating arc. The motion is perfectly timed to the 58 BPM pulse that Arya can now only feel as a memory, a ghost limb of a sense she has just lost. The woman's unawareness is a kind of innocence, a state of grace. But it is also a vulnerability. To be moved by a force you cannot perceive is to be utterly at its mercy. If the music were to stop, or if it were to change into something dissonant and chaotic, they would be thrown into confusion, their bodies and minds suddenly out of sync with a world they thought they knew.
This is the fear that Scintillis Industries must have had. What if the listening machine did more than just allow one to hear the music? What if it allowed one to change the composition? The power to control the fundamental rhythm of the city would be the power to control its population in the most profound way imaginable. Perhaps Noah Aya was not trying to prevent chaos, but to preserve a very specific, very controlled form of order. The pedestrians below continue their silent dance, their movements a testament to a beautiful, fragile, and deeply compromised harmony. The echo of the city's true rhythm is there, but it is a faint and fading signal.
As I walk, I start to notice these little cracks in the city's rhythm. There's a row of streetlights. They're supposed to, pulse together in this gentle wave, but one of them is just flickering all over the place. It's like this jarring, offbeat note in the middle of a song I used to love. I hear this distant banging too. A loose panel somewhere high up, just slamming around in the wind. It's not music, it's noise. It's like the city's percussion section is falling apart, and I can't unhear it now.
The world is, slowly and quietly falling out of tune. This is the entropy the rhythm was meant to keep away. The breakdown isn't dramatic or sudden. It's this creeping, almost invisible decline. The signal that once held everything together is fading, and chaos is starting to slip in through every tiny crack. The old man with the clockwork device wasn't just a strange outlier. He was a warning, a glimpse of a future where the rhythm is forgotten, where hands lose their skill, and the deep connection to the city's pulse is just gone. Scintillis Industries, by hiding the lattice, didn't really save the order of things. They just made sure it would die slowly, out of sight, instead of being rediscovered and revived.
There's this ache, this sense of being cut off. I used to love the city for its quiet harmony, but now all I see are the flaws, the places where it's breaking down on purpose. The rhythm I felt all my life wasn't natural. It was something artificial, layered on top, and now it's slipping away. I feel like maybe the rhythm I was searching for was never really mine. Maybe it was always just a ghost, an echo from a past I was never meant to reach.
Maybe we never lost the rhythm. Maybe it lost us.
I'm stuck between worlds now. I can't go back to being unaware, just moving with the crowd. But I've also lost the thing that let me hear the music clearly. I'm stranded in this in-between, hearing both the last notes of harmony and the first notes of chaos. The city at night used to feel safe, even magical. Now it's just lonely. It's like a beautiful machine running down, playing its last broken notes into the dark. And I'm the only one left to hear it. I stand on this bridge, looking out over the water. I can't stop thinking about what Noah said. The way he tried to take the lattice back, to bury it again, like he was scared of what it could do. He said it was never meant to wake up. But by trying to hide it, he actually showed me how important it really is. The rhythm isn't just some background noise. It's powerful. It was once at the heart of everything, and now it's this tightly guarded secret. His interference wasn't the end. If anything, it's the start of something new. I remember that pure A5 tone in my workshop, the way it made everything feel so clear, like I was finally in sync with myself and the city. That feeling is gone now, but I can still remember it, almost like my body is holding on to the memory. The lattice was just a tool, an amplifier. But what if the real resonator isn't the device, but the person listening? What if the lattice only unlocked something that was already inside me? The machine wasn't just for hearing the city. It was for teaching me how to really listen with my whole self.
And so, a new resolve begins to form. The rhythm isn't lost. The signal isn't gone. It's just, dormant, waiting for someone to tune in directly. The lattice was like training wheels, and now they're gone. Arya has to learn to ride on her own. The echo isn't only out there in the city. It's inside her, in the memory of the tone, in her own heartbeat, in the sheer focus of her attention. The key is no longer in her pocket, but in her mind.
I open my eyes. I'm not just watching anymore. I'm not just mourning what's been lost. I can do something. I can be part of this. I start walking back to my workshop. My steps are steady, on purpose, not just following the crowd, but choosing my own rhythm. The real awakening wasn't when I found the lattice. It's now. It's this moment. I come back to my workshop. Every step I take, I'm making it count. There's a real rhythm to it, and it's mine.
The space is still dark, and the air is thick with the memory of that blue intrusion. The silence here isn't full of possibility anymore. It's more like a void left behind by the missing signal.
But I don't see the darkness as the end of things. It's a new beginning. Noah tried to scare me, to push me back into being just an observer, but all he did was light a fire in me. The lattice was always just a tool, a way to help me tune in. The real instrument wasn't the city. It was me, the listener.
The true awakening was never about the machine. It's about the potential inside Arya herself.
I move through the workshop without needing any light. I know every inch of this place by heart. This is my space, and I'm taking it back from the shadow of Scintillis Industries. I don't try to turn anything back on. The outside world of machines, well, it's compromised now, vulnerable. What I need to do next has to come from inside. I walk to the workbench where the lattice sits. It's just an object now, silent, beautiful, but not the answer. It taught me the song, but now I have to learn to sing it myself. I sit down on the floor, cross my legs, and shut out everything else. The world outside, the fading harmony, the growing chaos, none of that matters for now. The answer isn't out there. It's in here. From my belt, I take out a simple heart monitor. It's not for listening to the city, but for listening to me. I slip it onto my finger, and the little screen comes to life. My heart's racing, numbers jumping all over the place. 75, 80, 78. It's chaos, but it's where I have to start.
This is her new experiment, not with machines or circuits, but with her own mind and body. She must turn her attention inward with the same focus she once gave the city's hum. There's an old warning. When hands lose rhythm, minds forget their craft. But maybe, just maybe, if the mind can find its rhythm again, the hands and the world they shape can rediscover their craft too. The awakening demands that Arya become the very principle she's been chasing, to embody the order she hopes to restore. The experiment has moved from the workbench into the laboratory of her own being. She closes her eyes, and the faint, irregular blinking of the heart monitor is really the only external stimulus left. The darkness is absolute, almost like a sensory deprivation chamber of her own making.
My first task is to find the memory of the tone.
She pushes aside the lingering image of Noah Arya's cold face and the anxiety of that confrontation. She reaches back in her mind, past all the dissonance and fear, to the moment when the lattice first came alive.
I summon the memory of the pure, unwavering A5 note.
It's faint at first, just a ghost of a sound, an echo in the halls of her memory. But she holds on to it, focusing her entire consciousness on that single, perfect frequency. Slowly, she begins to breathe in time with the remembered rhythm.
Inhale for 4 beats, hold for 4 beats, exhale for 6, pause for 2.
It's a deliberate, conscious act of synchronization. She imagines her lungs as bellows, fanning the faint ember of the remembered tone. With each controlled breath, the memory of the note becomes stronger, more stable, It starts to feel less like a memory and more like a present reality, a tone generated within the quiet chamber of her own mind. Her focus is absolute. She's no longer just remembering the sound, she's reconstructing it, rebuilding it from the raw material of her own attention.
I can feel it now. It's not just in my head, it's everywhere, in every cell.
The feedback loop begins. As the inner tone solidifies, her body starts to respond. The frantic hammering in her chest begins to soften and slow. She can feel the tension in her shoulders and jaw releasing. She is tuning her own physiology. The heart monitor's display reflects her progress. The jagged line begins to smooth out, its peaks and valleys becoming less erratic, more uniform. The number flickers downwards, 72, 68, 64. She is not forcing it. She is allowing it, inviting her body to align with the harmonious frequency held in her mind.
The boundary between mind and body is dissolving. Memory and biology are merging.
The final shift happens with a sudden, profound sense of coherence. Her heartbeat finds the rhythm. The number on the monitor steadies, flashing a calm, unwavering 58. The line is no longer a jagged representation of a heartbeat, but a perfect, rhythmic pulse. Beep, beep, a steady, resonant glow.
This is the city's pulse, the tempo of the lattice, found within my own heart.
She has become the resonator. The external machine is no longer necessary. She has found the signal within her own blood, within the steady, life-affirming beat of her own heart. The awakening is not just an understanding, it is a transformation. With her heartbeat now locked to the city's pulse, a new perception opens up. The inner tone that remembered A5 blooms from a faint hum into a rich, full-bodied presence. It's the same note the lattice produced, but this time it feels warmer, more organic, infused with the vitality of her own life force. It's not a cold, mechanical frequency, but the sound of her own being in a state of perfect alignment.
This is the true sound of attention. It's not something to be measured by an external device. It's a state to be inhabited, a frequency to be embodied.
The narrator's voice, her own voice, returns as a soft, awestruck whisper, a final re-evaluation of her own quest.
If this is what attention sounds like, maybe we forgot how to listen.
The realization dawns on her with the gentle force of a sunrise. Humanity had not forgotten the rhythm. The rhythm had not been lost. They had simply forgotten how to listen for it inside themselves. They had outsourced their sense of harmony to external systems, to cities and machines, to lattices and technologies. They had built a world that would keep the beat for them, allowing their own inner metronome to fall silent from disuse. The city was a crutch, a beautiful and elegant one, but a crutch nonetheless. The awakening is the act of throwing that crutch away and learning to walk on one's own again.
I see it now. The lattice isn't the source. It's a mirror. It's reflecting the harmony I've generated within myself.
As if in response to her own internal coherence, a soft light begins to emanate from the workbench. It's the lattice, glowing with a gentle, warm amber light, pulsing in perfect time with her own 58 BPM heartbeat. It's not acting as an amplifier anymore, but as a mirror, a biofeedback device reflecting the harmony she has generated within herself. It had been waiting not for a power source, but for a user who could match its own resonant frequency. She has become the power source. The connection between them is now a two-way street, a silent, symbiotic dialogue of light and rhythm.
I open my eyes. The loneliness and disconnection I felt on the city streets are gone. I'm connected, not to the city's machines, but to the principle that gives them life.
She is a part of the rhythm now, not by accident of birth or by unconscious influence, but by conscious choice. She is no longer just an audience member. She is a composer, ready to write her own score. The awakening is the realization that the signal is not something to be found, but something to be created.
You know, it's strange. The city looks the same, but it feels completely different. Like the whole world is just waiting for someone to give the downbeat.
The first light of morning spills gold across the spires and avenues, echoing the image that began this journey. But now, it's not the dawn of a silent city. It's the dawn of a city waiting for its conductor. The golden light is richer, more vibrant, pulsing with the same steady rhythm that now governs Arya's heart. The cold, sterile blue of Sintalis's control feels like a distant memory, a nightmare faded by the morning sun. From this vantage, the city is revealed as a single, massive, living organism, the lighter visible manifestation of its reawakening pulse, a promise of restoration.
I can feel it. The rhythm, it's everywhere, not just in me.
Every generation rediscovers its rhythm. The past cannot be buried forever. The fundamental truths of existence resurface again and again, demanding to be heard, to be understood, to be integrated by each new age in its own unique way. Arya is not the first to have found this pulse, and she will not be the last. She is simply the one for this time, the catalyst for this particular rediscovery. The awakening is complete, but the work is just beginning. Arya has found the rhythm within herself. Now she must decide what to do with it. How does one teach a sleeping world to hear the music of its own soul? The question hangs in the golden air, a silent testament to the enduring power of rhythm, attention, and the human heart. The panoramic view of the city shows a world transformed. The dawn is no longer just a turning of the planet, but an active participant in the story. The light is not simply illuminating the city, it's infusing it, bathing every surface in a warm, living gold. This is the visible sign of the restored signal, a city-wide resonance that begins with a single, conscious human heartbeat. The cold, sterile blue of Sintalis Industries, the colour of control and repression, has been washed away by this tide of amber light, a victory of organic harmony over rigid authority. The city breathes again, its pulse made visible. This sweeping golden vista connects the vastness of the city to the intimate rhythm of Arya's heart, showing that environment and individual are two parts of the same whole, linked by the universal principle of resonance. The film proposes that our world is a reflection of our inner state. When minds forget their own rhythm, the world becomes dissonant and chaotic. But harmony can be born from a single person who rediscovers their connection to the pulse of life. The golden light is not just a pretty image, it's a statement of potential, a vision of what our world could look like if we learned to listen again. The philosopher's final reflection, every generation rediscovers its rhythm, cements this idea in a historical context. Arya's journey is not unique, but a cycle repeated throughout history. Each age, with its own technologies and challenges, faces the same choice, to fall into chaos, or to seek the ordering principle of rhythm. The rediscovery of rhythm is not just an opportunity, but a necessity, a vital task for every generation. The final soaring theme lifts this conclusion from personal victory to universal celebration. Arya has awakened. She has rediscovered the rhythm. The city is bathed in new potential. The story ends with a grand opening chord. The real work, the work of teaching a world to listen, is only just beginning. The conclusion is, in fact, an overture. The final text, "Work is rhythm, rhythm is life," stands as the distilled message of Arya's discovery. This simple three-part statement encapsulates the entire story. Through vignettes of labor, we see this idea in action. Mita, the bus driver, whose tapping fingers sync with her machine. Kavi, the coder, whose creations flow from the tempo of his keystrokes. Ved, the polisher, whose grace and perfect finish come from his rhythmic dance with metal. Their work isn't just a chore, it's participation in the city's grand composition. It's meaningful because it's rhythmic. This connection elevates labor from mere economic activity to something almost spiritual. It recalls an older understanding of craft, where the artisan was a participant in a sacred act of creation. The film argues that, in our pursuit of efficiency, we've lost this connection. When we desynchronize our work from our natural rhythms, we make it soulless. The philosopher's warning, "When hands lose rhythm, minds forget their craft," is a cautionary tale. The old man fumbling with the clockwork device is the tragic result of forgetting that the quality of our work is inseparable from its rhythm. Rhythm is life. It's not just a tool for better work, but the fundamental organizing principle of existence. It's in the stars, the seasons, the beating of a heart. To be alive is to be in rhythm. To lose rhythm is to move toward entropy and decay. Arya's journey is about aligning herself with this principle, tuning her own instrument to the universe. Her awakening is a rediscovery of what it means to be truly alive. If work is rhythm and rhythm is life, then our work is our life. Not in a work-obsessed sense, but in the way we engage with our daily tasks. The attention and harmony we bring to them is how we engage with life itself. The film encourages us to see our own labor, however mundane, as an opportunity to connect with this deeper, life-affirming pulse. Meaning is not found in a distant goal, but created in the rhythmic process of our actions. As the credits roll over a few seconds of gentle ambience, the sound of wind, the distant hum of a world at rest, the film offers its final, most important invitation. The sudden silence after the music is deliberate, creating a space for the viewer to return to their own reality, but with a new awareness. The silence is no longer empty. It's a canvas, and the film has just taught us how to perceive the subtle signals painted upon it. This is an invitation to listen, not to the film's soundtrack, but to the soundtrack of our own lives. The entire story has been a training exercise for our attention. Like Arya, we begin in a world of noise, sensing a deeper order but unable to grasp it. We journey with her as she discovers the lattice, experiences the pure tone, the harmony of labor, the dissonance of interference. Finally, we witness her internalize the rhythm, finding it within her own body. Through this process, the film has retuned our senses, making us more sensitive to the rhythms all around us. The film's goal is to dissolve the barrier between story and viewer. It wants us to leave and hear the pulse in the traffic, in the hum of our world, in the tempo of our own breathing and heartbeat. Arya's story is a mirror, reflecting our own potential for awakening. The lattice is a metaphor for any tool, meditation, music, art, or craft, that quiets the noise and tunes us to our inner frequency. Ultimately, Echoes of the Future is not just a film, it's a resonant object, designed to vibrate at a certain frequency and cause a sympathetic vibration in us. It's a call to action, but a quiet, personal one. It doesn't demand that we change the world. but that we first change our perception of it. It asks us to stop, close our eyes, and simply listen. In the profound quiet that follows, we're left with the echo of its central message. The rhythm is everywhere, and the awakening begins the moment we finally choose to hear it.